I decided to graduate a year early. The summer after my junior year, I took the necessary classes at New Summit School online to graduate. Of course, that came at an expense. That was a tough time. There were moments when I felt depressed because I was working so hard and thinking it was for nothing. I could obtain a high school degree, but I would not be able to achieve anything higher. Being unable to advance in my discouragement could have led to behavioral and psychological problems, as we see in some children and young adults today. I graduated from high school July 2012. DACA was implemented August 15, 2012. It was truly a miracle. I worked for 6 months and decided to go back to school. I worked full-time and attended Holmes Community College full-time as a night student. Later decided to apply to the nursing program. In May 2017, I graduated as a registered nurse. While working, I obtained my bachelor's degree in nursing in October 2019 from Mississippi College. Even though I enjoyed Mississippi College curriculum, I wish I would have had options. I went to Holmes Community College and Mississippi College later on because those were my only options. Although other colleges and universities either did not accept DACA students or charge international fees. How is it that a student that has been in Mississippi school system since the 3rd grade has to pay an international fee? Many states have allowed in-state tuition for students just like me. Experience in the states that have adopted tuition equity laws or policies suggest that such policies help U.S. citizens and immigrants of all who pursue a college degree, raise the student incomes and tax contributions. So not only would it benefit the students giving them the opportunity to obtain a higher education, but the state of Mississippi will benefit as well. The New American Economy highlighted one of the many reasons why Dreamers are an important community to accept and protect. The meaningful economic contributions they make to the U.S. economy. They have high rates of employment, which means they're contributing as earners and taxpayers. Tax and local tax payments are essential to fund some of the basic functions of government, such as staffing public schools, collecting trash, and maintaining public schools. Currently, I am working at Baptist Hospital Medical Center. Thanks to my status and the education I received here, I'm able to help save lives, not only Hispanic lives, but white and African American, and everyone that goes by the hospital. And I would love to continue doing my job because I love it and I love helping people. Thank you.
Good job.
I am Father Roberto Mena, sacramental minister in Forest and also Morton. We have faced the consequences of the ice rain happened in August the 7th. So I have experienced through listening a lot of the victims of this ice rain, the separation of the families, but also we are listening to some people that they are facing a lot of psychological problems, especially the children and the youth, that they have been affected even in the school grades and also in their relation with others. They are facing post-traumatic stress effects at school, at home, in the church. So our life as a church is not the same after August the 7th. We have been like a field hospital where we have delivering mercy to the immigrants from my own country, Guatemala. And as an American citizen, I would like that the government will treat the immigrants in the way that the European immigrants were treated when they came here so many years ago. And that's why we had the Statue of Liberty saying welcome to all. And I don't see that anymore. We had to recuperate this mentality that we are only one country. It doesn't matter where we come from. We are only one country. As a church, I also like that every church will be a refuge that will receive the immigrants as it was in the past. So I hope that today this opportunity we have to talk with legislators about laws that are important to immigrants. So the legislators will see the human face of immigration. Are these people coming from different parts of Latin America that they are working in this country? They are sustaining the economy of the United States. So how important is that this family will be supported by the government instead of persecuting them, being supportive of all the efforts that they do, sending their kids to school and also coming to church and trying to build a humanitarian society. So that are my wishes. I want God that will continue being in the center of our American country.
Thank you, Pastor Roberto. Next person is so this is my second time. I thank you all for coming here. I thank MIRA for giving me this opportunity for the second time to speak at the Capitol. I just came from Chicago. So this is my question. Like, tell me, Mississippi, is it like too much to ask for? So the president has declared that he wished no longer to abide by the principles and sentiments pronounced in the most cherished national treasure. The treasure is the Statue of Liberty. He has declared that he only wants the best, most educated, talented, and skilled immigrants to be granted right to reside in America. I would say, why don't we focus on what we have in here? Why don't we focus on the people we have in America? So many of the undocumented kids in Mississippi, when they arrived, they were of the school age and did not speak and couldn't write in English. They, however, attended the schools and managed to excel against great odds. Like we have one case here, JB. They learned to read and write in English. They have attended public schools in the states and have graduated, but are not allowed to pay in-state tuition. These young people are here and should be accommodated. They are seeking the very thing that this president claims to value in preferred immigrants, that is the education skills. I would say it is illogical to deny these innocent children who are the product of the American schools the benefit of higher education at in-state cost. I put this question to you, tell me again. I ask you all, is it too much to ask for? Thank you.
Thank you so much. As stated, my name is Madeline Morsell. I am the Director of Public Benefits Law at the Mississippi Center for Justice, a public interest law firm fighting Mississippi's culture of injustice. The Trump administration has spent 3 years trying to erect a wealth test for green cards. Its new public charge rule makes it harder for lower income, lawfully present immigrants to get visas or green cards if they participate in Medicaid, SNAP, and housing benefits to which they are entitled under federal law. If fully implemented, the public charge rule will leave some of the most vulnerable children and families among us with a heartbreaking choice: continue to participate in life-saving government benefits that they are entitled to and risk losing their chance at a green card, or drop out of those services and risk their health and safety and that of their spouses, children, and other loved ones. The public charge rule is a direct assault on tens of thousands of Mississippians. The new policy could cause up to 73,000 immigrants and their family members in Mississippi to stop using public benefits such as Medicaid and SNAP or avoid enrolling them in the first place. Nearly all of those impacted are immigrants of color, and many of the children are U.S. citizens. We've heard firsthand from immigrant families all across our state who are so terrified of this new policy that they are deliberately keeping themselves and their children from accessing vital health and nutrition assistance, leaving them sick and hungry. Although refugees, asylees, and victims of human trafficking, as well as U.S. citizen children, are exempted from the rule, the Trump administration is using lies about communities of color and fear to rip health care, food, and other basic health-related human rights from millions nationwide, fueling a public health crisis in our communities. Let me be blunt. President Trump's public charge rule is designed to sow fear in immigrant communities of color. At its core, this policy says that if you are not white and wealthy, you are not welcome in America. It is a direct attack on the fundamental values that make our country great. It will endanger Mississippi's healthcare system, widen health disparities, and worsen hunger in our state, especially among immigrants of color and their families. That's why the Mississippi Center for Justice has been at the forefront of the battle against this erroneous, harmful, discriminatory rule from the beginning, and our fight is far from over. Last winter, the Mississippi Center for Justice joined more than 250,000 elected officials, advocates, and Americans from all walks of life in opposing this harmful rule by submitting public comments. Nevertheless, this didn't stop the Trump administration from finalizing the public charge rule just days after the August 7th ICE raids last summer. In response, the Mississippi Center for Justice joined a coalition of other legal and advocacy groups in filing an amicus brief challenging the legality of the rule. Federal courts across the country have issued nationwide injunctions temporarily blocking the implementation of this rule. In his order, one judge said that the rule is repugnant to the American dream of the opportunity for prosperity and success through hard work and upward mobility. But last month, a narrowly divided U.S. Supreme Court lifted the last nationwide injunction, allowing the Trump administration to begin implementing this harmful rule. Lower courts continue to wrestle with multiple lawsuits challenging its legality. This means our fight is far from over. The Mississippi Center for Justice is lobbying Congress, organizing Know Your Rights trainings, and providing one-on-one legal assistance to immigrant families to help them make the best choices about whether to continue to use these vital lifelines for themselves and their families. We will continue to work with partners like MIRA in Mississippi and across the country to fight back using every tool at our disposal. We have miles to go before we can sleep. We need your help and support as we continue our fight against the administration's war on immigrant communities of color. Discriminatory policies like this one set a precedent for erecting barriers for all people of color in America, immigrants and native-born. Together, we must fight back and build a better future for all Mississippians. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marlene Lopez. And I do not want to force anyone on anything. The only thing I ask is to listen and maybe understand where my opinions are coming from. The United States is known for having a diverse culture, so that means there's different people from different nationalities. There's people from Asia, Europe, and Central America, South America, and all of us are different. But we are all human beings, and we might be different from the outside, but we're all the same from the inside. And the United States is one of the only countries that doesn't have a really main language. Each country has their own specific language on their countries, and so that means because we have a diverse culture, and why should we fight each other just because we're different? We have been just not the Hispanic race, not just a white race or black race. We all go through different tough times. Back then we had segregation where black and white people had different views on what they seen because of their race of color. And now it still happens in today's world, and teachers, our parents always say that we should not hate people for the stuff that they do, that everyone's know what they're doing around everywhere. Our actions define us, and we choose what we have to do. Just because one person make this mistake doesn't mean everyone is the same person, because everyone has the chance to change, to be anyone who they want to be. And we shouldn't fight with violence, anger, or hatred. What's the point of it? Because it's just a waste of time, a waste of energy, and it just makes us feel more not united together. We should be all united together. We should be proud of where we are, from who we are, and we shouldn't just think of people so different because of the different races. Us Hispanics, we have our flaws. We're not perfect. No one is perfect, and there's no perfect race or anything like that. We're all different, and we choose who we want to be. And we shouldn't be defined of other people's actions. And we came here to have a better life. Imagine everyone has a mom and a dad and all that. Imagine that one day you find out that they get taken away because of something that they're not doing wrong. And the stuff that happened in the race, it happened the second day of school. And imagine coming back home and then you don't see your parents or someone you love. And next thing you know, you find out they got taken away for something that they were doing. They were just trying to provide, trying to get money to their families. Because my parents always wanted me to have a better future, to do something for this world. And I do not want to disappoint them because they sacrifice every little thing for me. They've given every little thing that I have, and I am the person who I am because of them. And what they go through just because of their color, just because they don't have papers, just because they don't really speak English and all that, doesn't mean that they're not capable of what other people can do. Anyone can be hardworking, anyone can do anything they want if they just put their minds to it. And just by judging people by where they come from what they are, is something that we shouldn't do. Because not every day we walk outside and then we see, oh, that person is white, that person is black, that one is Hispanic, he's Chinese, or anything. You shouldn't define them for that because each person are different and unique in their own ways. And we should be proud of who we are, who I am, because I can't change my color. I can't just say, oh, you know what, I don't want to be Hispanic anymore. I want to be this or color. I can't do that. And I do not want to change who I am because of something of the law that laws are coming through. So I can't force anyone to believe everything that I say, but that's okay because everyone has their point of view, and the only thing I just ask is to listen to everybody's voice, because it's not just for me, it's not just for these people right behind me, it's for everyone, not just for Hispanics, for everyone, because we should be together and not be separate because of where we come from. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Florida Lopez. I am a USA citizen. I just want to say, why does so many people doesn't like us? We are not criminals. We just came here to work for our family, and so many people just judge about our skin color, food, language, and the way we live our life. We are all the same. This all started when immigration attacked the immigrant workers. by arresting them like criminals. They destroyed a lot of kids and husband or wife lives. They destroyed my life too by arresting my dad. I sometimes ask myself, why did they arrest them? They are not criminals. They only came here to work for their children and family. My dad has not got out, and it's sad because he haven't done nothing bad. He only works for his family, and seeing my mom and sister sad and crying makes me want to cry too. I want to be the stronger one in my family. I try to cheer my mom and sisters up. My dad was everything for us, to have a beautiful house, car, food, clothes. That's why I want rights that don't arrest immigrants if they are not doing nothing wrong, only working for their family. And just because we're not from here doesn't mean that we don't have rights. And also, me and my people are not going to give up. If we're going to fight for our rights.
Yeah.
If me and my people started, we will end it. And if we all stay here, we all stay here. Thank you.
Good job.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lorena Quiroz. I'm an organizer with Working Together Mississippi, and I am here because we want to denounce what this Trump administration has done to our communities. The pain that it has caused, the distress that it has caused, and our people, what they are is that they are heroes who have crossed deserts, they have crossed countries so that they can have what we want. And that is, they just want their communities to be safe. They want their children to have health care. They want their children to have education. They want to have access to the same things that the common citizen in the United States wants. So we are here to denounce the policies that have been brought up by this administration that resulted in the most devastating raids in the history of the U.S. that happened on August 7th, the ICE raids. Our community is still suffering from these. The trauma is something that's going to be held for years, for decades to come. And there's many people here that you see behind me that are working as leaders in their community, and they're getting together to fight what's going on here and in this state. So I just want to let you know that we are here as organizers and as community people to resist this administration. Mississippi, resiste.